Hey, how's it going, everybody? Jeremy Donson here with thedrumprofessor.com. Today we're going to be doing Eyeless by Slipknot. Definitely some challenging parts in this song, but a ton of fun. So we're going to start at the beginning of the song. And if you have any questions about what I go over or any other parts, feel free to comment below or email me at jeremy@thedrumprofessor.com. Also, we could meet for a live one-on-one free drum lesson to go over it or anything else that you would like to, whether you're beginner, intermediate, advanced, whatever level you are. That's why I'm here. I'm here to help, so I'm happy to do so. Definitely reach out for that free drum lesson. All right, guys, here we go from the top. All right, so from the beginning, we're going to crash with the bass drum, and then we're going to crash with the bass and snare drum together, so all three. So we put that together, and we have crash, crash. Now, after those two crashes, we start on the snare drum. Now, the way I would stick this would be right, left, right, being that you're right-handed and you're on a right-handed setup. I'm left-handed, but even though I'm left-handed on a right-handed setup, you want to lead right hand for several reasons, but mostly because when your right hand leads, the left follows and it won't get in the way. If you do left hand lead, when it comes to the toms especially, and you lead with your left hand, you're going to cross over and there's a good chance you're going to hit your sticks, just like I just did, right? So you want to lead right hand here, right, left, right, just like so. Now after that, you're going to do a high tom with your left stick. Then we go back to the snare again. 3 more snares. And then we do this tom part. But before we do that, I don't want to go too fast, so let's just do this again slow. First step is crash with bass, crash all 3. Then we have 3 snares, right, left, right, and then a high tom, left hand. So putting that together, it's crash, crash. After the tom, you're going to have 3 more snares, right, left, right again. So putting that together. Okay, now after those 3 snares are played, then we're going to do mid floor with the snare both times. So mid and snare together, and then floor and snare together. So putting it together, crash, crash, tom, tom, tom. Now we're going to do that 2 times. So let me do it a little faster. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Now I've had several students that that I teach each week who will rush the second time they go into it. So they'll do it, and then they'll rush into the next one. They don't do it on time. So if the tempo is this, you're going to have 3 counts of rest, and then you come back in. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Start. So that's going to help you whether you have a metronome playing at the same time or you just count 1, 2, 3, or you tap your left heel like I do personally. I like to tap my foot to keep time. Whatever the case is, it's 3 counts of rest. So tom, tom, rest, rest, rest. Rest, rest, rest. Then we get into the next section. So one more time at tempo, and then we'll get on to the next part. All right, now if you struggle with that at all, especially with the snare speed, how it's a really fast 3. So if you struggle with that, there is some techniques that you can use to do that fast with those really quick single stroke 3. And there's several ways I can show you, and to go into really deep in depth with it, I'd recommend just email me and I can set up a time with you to go over it in an actual lesson with me. But basically it's like you're throwing the sticks into the drum, like the left hand's just echoing the right, and then the right hand hits again. Dig it out. Just like that. And on the second right, what I'm doing is I'm just fingering that right, the second right stroke through the drum. So I use my fingers and I just squeeze it through, and it makes it very fast instead of literally going, you know, twice with an actual stroke, which you can do, but it's much easier if you use your fingers. So if you need help with that, go into more detail. I'd be glad to help. There's some exercises that really help with that. But once you're ready for that and you got all that good to go at tempo, next part that you're going to do is you're going to go bass, bass this time. So there's a bass in between these two crashes. So you're going to go bass, bass, snare. First crash is with bass, next crash is with snare. So once you get that, same thing you did on the snare, but it's on the high tom this time. So the rhythm you're going to do on the toms is, now notice that it was nice and convenient. If I went to the left, my left hand is the one that hit. If I went to the right, my right hand is the one to hit. Sticking is what makes what makes that possible. It's really important to stick it properly, or else you're going to be having to go or hitting with the same hand here and then again, and it may not seem like a big deal, but when you're going at a very fast speed, it's much easier to use a hand that hasn't hit yet instead of going like that if you don't have to, right? So sticking is important. So you're going to do right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Now, once you get that comfortable, let's put it together with the crashes. So now this next part, you're not going to crash at all. It's still the bass, bass, snare, but no crashes this time. So, and then you're going to do this next fill, and there's a couple of different ways you can do this. So the fill is going to go. Now there's nothing wrong with doing it that way at all. It's fine to do it that way, and most people actually do it that way. So you're just going to go right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right. So Joey really likes right, left, right in this intro fill because he's done it like 6 times, right? So he's done it a bunch of times. But anyway, so backing up to those crashes and doing that second part of the fill real quick here. And then you do bass, bass, snare, again, no crashes. Okay, so now that we got bass, bass, snare, the next part of the fill, showing you again, is if you only have one crash, just crash on the same one each time. That's fine. But another way to do that fill, instead of right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, your right hand's moving pretty quickly from the crash of the snare. So instead of doing all that motion, if you wanted to, you could do doubles with your left, and then your right hand just hangs out up here the whole time, and you doesn't have to go back and forth all the time. And that's not a quote-unquote lazy way to play. It's just another option. If you want to have your right hand up here, you could have it real big, or whatever you want to do. But if you want to do that, certainly nothing wrong with that at all. Whichever way you prefer is totally fine. And last option, there's actually 3. You can do right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. So any one of those three is fine. Really doesn't matter because they're all three the same thing in principle. The only thing I would say is if you want to crash on the left side, generally you want to crash with your left hand, right? If you want to crash on the right side, generally you want to crash on the right. So say you have crashes here and here and you want to do this one, this one, this one, then maybe it would be good to do right, right, left, right, or since you have more time, you could still go, since you have all that extra time since you're doubling with your left hand. So just giving you the options there, you can do it however you want to. Okay, but now going into that again. There we go. And what I actually do when I do it, I either do all three left or I'll mix it up and I'll do right left the first time and then left left the rest. So so whatever you choose is fine. Any of them are good. All right, so moving on. Let's actually just put it together so far at a slower tempo. So watch me once and then I'll count it off and you can try it with me at the same time. And there we have it. Let's try it again. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, now starting on that last crash, here's what you do. So we did this. And then we go to the fast fill on the snare and the tom. So we got, now once you do dig-a-dut-dut, which is like a herita, heritas are dig-a-dut-dut, 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 dig-a-dut-dut. Let's call it a herita. But once you do that, let's do that. And then that last tap, now you're going to go into the fill. So let's just play that one more time. Now you do 2 snares next. So starting on that tom, once you do these 2, let me just show you and then I'll break it down. Alright, so once you do the herita again, you're going to do snare, snare, tom, and then you're going to be on the snare for a minute. So if you've ever been to, just putting that on pause for a sec, if you've ever been to a live show and you've heard the song a million times on their album, you'll notice that there are some things that they change sometimes. They may not do the fill exactly the same in the album that they do when they play it live. Maybe because they've played it 1,000 times and they want to mix it up a little bit. So whatever the reason is, you'll find that pretty common, more common than you might think if you listen to some of the live concerts of different bands, not just Slipknot. You'll notice that happens more than you might have thought. So if you want to do this fill and you want to do it with a little bit more tom and less snare, it's very easy to adjust that. Then instead of doing the amount of snares I'm showing you, just do more toms and take away from the snares. So for example, if I'm doing 7 snares and you want to do less, then just do 5 snares or even 3 snares if you want to, right? So it's an easy change if you would like to do that. But I'm going to show you with 7 snares. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, to get this down, the right amount of hits is important, because if you don't hit it enough times, it could shorten the fill and you're going to crash early. If you hit it too many times, it could elongate the fill and it's going to be too long and you're going to be late. And this song is unforgiving if you're late or early because it's so fast, right? So you really want to make sure you got it right. different ways you can make sure that you know how many times you're hitting the snare. To each his own. Every drummer is different and learns differently, just like we all have different fingerprints, right? Of all my students, not one of them learns exactly the same way. I could teach, say we're teaching beginner students, I could teach them an AC/DC song, and I may have 10 different ways to show them that, or 20 or 30 or 40 when it comes to the entire thing. It just depends on, you know, how you learn the best, basically. All right, so one way I think would be very helpful for you to count this to know if you're hitting 7 or not, would be to literally just count it. If you read and count music, or if you at least know how to count the music, then just count it in 16th notes. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, and it ends on 1 being the beginning of the next section. So to break that down again, so you're going to do and then the counting starts with 1. So doing that again a little slower. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1. Now another way you can do it is just simply a digga-da, right? Or a triplet, triplet. But if it's going to confuse you, then just do, you could even count 7. Right? However you want to do it is totally fine. All right, so now we have, that's the entire fill. Now I play this on a 6-piece set. So I play on the snare, the high tom, second high, mid, and then floor. So if you only have a 5-piece set, instead of doing this, where you did 4, 2, 2, 2, then you could do, say, that was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That was 10 hits total. So just divvy them up differently. So maybe instead of 4, 2, 2, 2, we could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 8, and then 2 more down here. So, right? Or you could do 2 and then 4, 4. However you would like to do it is totally fine. But it's 10 toms. All right, so there we have that. Let me do it at tempo for you. So either way, I did it both ways there. It's fine. However you want to do it is cool. All right, so once you get through with everything we just went over, now we get into the triple kicking with 1 foot that he does on this. And if it proves to be a bit too fast or too challenging, then just use 2 feet and go right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, until you get used to it. You don't want to get like stuck on the song and don't progress further just because one part's giving you a problem. So just do right, left, right for now if you need to, or just to get through it, maybe just go 2 basses instead of 3, just so you're not, stuck on that for weeks or months or however long it would take you to, or days or however long it would take you to get that. But the way that he does it and the way we're going to do it is 1 foot, 3 basses. So when you get through with the fill, that's their transition. So our transition, in other words, just going from the fill to the beat, is going to be crash, bass, snare. So you crash with the bass at the end of the fill. And then you do a bass by itself and then snare and hi-hat. Just like so. Now, there's a couple ways to tell when to do the extra crashes and snares that he has in this beat. It's 8 measures total from the crash at the end of that fill to the crash at the end of the next fill. It's 8 measures total. But you can also count how many snares that he does, right? So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just like that. So the 8th snare, you're going to crash twice. So once you crash twice on that 8th snare, then we go from there. But before we get to that point, I just want to break this down a little bit further. So I think it's helpful if you play it along with me while watching and making sure you're doing everything exactly how I'm doing it. A lot of times also your hi-hat might want to hit extra. You don't want to let it do that. Make sure that it's independent of what the bass is doing. So doing it from here, we're going bass, bass, snare. That starts it, and then it's 3 basses. So bass, bass, snare, bass, 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 snare. Breaking that down just a little bit, the independence here is crash bass, so that bass is by itself. Bass, bass, snare. Now starting on this snare, it's going to go snare, bass, bass, bass. So the hi-hat's going to be on the 2nd bass. The 1st and 3rd basses are by themselves. So snare, bass, bass, bass. Snare, bass, bass, bass. Okay, so we got, right? Crash, bass, snare, bass, 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 snare. I'm going to keep it going for a bit and try to play along with that. Ready? Go. Crash, bass, snare, bass, 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 snare, bass, 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 snare, bass, 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 snare, bass, bass, bass. Okay, now speeding that up is just a process. If you've already got it, awesome. If you don't, then do the process that I always say, which is slow it down, break it down, and say it and play it, right? So your first step is getting this without hitting anything extra, and then going from that to the 3 bass to the snare. Once you get to that snare, you're pretty much good because it just keeps repeating that. All right, it just keeps it going for, well, a total of 8 snares. You could think of it in the 2nd half of the 4th measure also. But without going into detail on that, let's count the snares here, and then I'll show you the next section. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now on 8, you're actually going to crash on both of those snares. So let's say we're on 7. Let's see. 7. So on the 8th snare, you're going to, instead of doing 1 snare with the hi-hat, you're going to do crash, crash, and then bass, bass, and then crash, crash again. So now, after you do that on 8, you go right back into the beat, starting with bass, bass, snare, just like you did from the crash, where you had 2 basses instead of 3. You do that same thing 1 time, and then you're back to the 3 basses again, briefly, and then it changes to the fill. But it's going to go like this. Check it out. So right first. Or right left. All right, so that brings us to the end of that, and then it goes into more of the 3 basses, and you go from there. So guys, I hope this was super helpful, and I really enjoy playing this drum part. I think it's a ton of fun. But if you have any questions, it's why I'm here to help. So feel free to comment below or contact me via email at jeremy@thedrumprofessor.com, and we can set up a lesson to help you with anything that you like. Seriously, I would love to help you. Don't hesitate to do that. No matter if you started yesterday, you've been playing for 30 years. Doesn't really matter. But either way, I hope you enjoyed it, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And again, yeah, hope you enjoyed it. So thanks so much, guys. Be sure to have fun, stay awesome, and rock on. See you later. All right, so that concludes this section of the song. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I really have a ton of fun playing this part, and I hope you do too once you get this down. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to comment below or email me at jeremy@thedrumprofessor.com. Also, again, don't hesitate to contact me for that free lesson. It's why I'm here. I'd love to do that for you. And it doesn't matter if you started yesterday or 30 years ago. I'm here to help. So hope you enjoyed it, and be sure to have fun, stay awesome, and rock on. And please do like, share, and subscribe. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I have a ton of fun playing this part of the song. So that's it for this video. I hope you really enjoyed it. I have a ton of fun playing this song, and if you need further help, again, please do feel free to comment below or email me at jeremy@thedrumprofessor.com, or better yet, let's hook up for a free drum lesson. That's why I'm here. Seriously, I would love to help you guys out. It's why I do what I do. And whether you've been playing 1 day or 30 years, doesn't matter. I'd be happy to help you out. So again, and that concludes this video, guys. So I hope this was really fun for you. I love playing this song. It's a ton of fun. And again, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to do so below, or email me at jeremy@thedrumprofessor.com. And better yet, contact me for that free live drum lesson. Seriously, I'd love to help you guys out. It's why I'm here to do so, whether you've been playing 1 day or 30 years, it does not matter. So hope you really enjoyed this, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and have a good one, guys. Thanks so much. Have fun, stay awesome, and rock on. Later.